Alt Funds Global presents why you are getting terrible term sheets for your financial partners and how to fix it.
Why are you getting terrible term sheets from your financial partners and how you can fix it? In this video, I'm going to tell you over a decade of years of experience in working with banks and how we are able to get a much better deal from financial institutions. You've got to watch this video.
All of the information presented is for entertainment and information purposes only. Nothing discussed constitutes legal or accounting advice, an offer or solicitation of financial services, or financial advice of any kind. Our goal is to showcase alternative vehicles to raise capital. At no point will we be soliciting any investment programs.
Hi, my name is Taimour Zaman from Alt Funds Global. My organization helps accredited investors leverage their cash, stamina, and so on to access capital that banks are primarily offering their VIP clients. We can do this because of volume of transactions we give to banks, because of our experience and expertise in structured financing, as well as because of the relationships we've built. The capital our clients are getting allows them to do project financing, grow their businesses, as well as buy auxiliary businesses. So friends, this week I've had the privilege of working on a couple of files that I thought was interesting in terms of lessons learned that I want to share with you on a couple of clients that were struggling to accessing capital and how they engage us to get far better, more money at far better rate, and how you can copy the same formula for yourself. The first is a real estate investor developer. She's doing a raise for $46 million. She's been following me on YouTube for a while. I think she's purchased a couple of her books, but much more importantly, she came to a couple of our events in Switzerland. She met some of the banks we work with, lawyers we work with. And a comment she made to me was, Taimour, when I go to my bank, I can go to see the branch manager and I can get $5 million, $10 million in terms of a loan or line of credit, and that's easy for me. Why is it that you keep talking about these big numbers, and how is it that you can get these big numbers? Because I'm doing capital raises of 40 million, 100 million constantly, and how come I can't get these numbers that you're talking about? What is it you're doing differently? The first book I wrote was Hypergrowth, How to Connect to Customers in New Ways, and there's a gift that I have within Taimour Zaman Incorporated. I don't know how to describe the gift. It's just a natural gift I have. And I'm very, very, very good at knocking at the CEO's door. It's just a natural, it's something that I do while I go to sleep. And I'm really well known for that. Most people who know me at a personal level say Taimour breaks down doors that we never thought, we could never do, kind of thing. But to take that skill out, all I can tell you is that I'm calling all the banks that you are calling. I'm calling the banks that your brokers are calling. The only difference is I'm not calling a branch manager, I'm calling usually the CEO. If you talk to my staff, if you talk to my executive assistant, if you talk to my lawyers, all the different lawyers we work with, you ask them, who is Taimour meeting when he goes and talks to a bank? Generally speaking, they'll tell you it's the managing director of a global bank, executive vice president, maybe as low as vice president, and many times it's the CEO of the bank. So those are the types of people that I'm knocking. I'm going to ask to fact check me and what I say in this video as well as any other videos. I'll talk about UBS Bank as an example. If you look at the history of UBS Bank, you've seen them buy, not loan money, not loan, hey, I want to give you a loan, where's my collateral, not that. You see UBS Bank as just one of the 10 billion cases out there of buying Credit Suisse. Just buying Credit Suisse. So, if you are a real estate developer, a real estate investor, and who you're in touch with, who you're in contact with, who you have a relationship with as a branch manager, and I don't care which country you're in, whether it's, whichever country you're in, that branch manager is signing authorities up to a certain number. In the United States or in Canada, maybe $5 million is the highest that branch manager can go to. Maybe if it's like New York and it's a busy center, maybe it's $10 million, but they have a limit, a ceiling to which they can loan money on. If you go to, maybe a district manager or area manager, and then you go to vice president, you see that number changes. You go to executive vice president, not only does that number change, but at the CEO level, you can see in the UBS example, they're investing. They are investing. I'm going to say this again. They are investing. If you're a client, if you're a business that you're capital intensive and you need a lot of capital and you're hustling to raise investment capital from investors or friends and family, and then you have to deal with SEC and investment raising capital regulations, or the WCO, whichever regulator you fall into, your bank, calling a bank, I don't think you need investment licenses to do that, to raise money. Just don't freaking call the branch manager. Go higher and higher and higher. I'm a living case study of that. Don't ask me. Don't trust me. Talk to my attorneys. Talk to my staff. They'll tell you Taimour Zaman, when he meets with whoever I meet with, it's usually at the CEO level, executive vice president level, and I know how to pitch the story. I'm not wasting the time. I understand what their strategic objectives are because I research it. I know what the driving behaviors are, what the past 5, 15, 20 transactions the executive has done, or the bank. I spend a lot of time researching that. So by the time I put together the pitch deck, I'm hitting 7 of the 10 bullets to them. So it's like I'm just saying, accessing capital could be a lot more easier if you're willing to invest time and attention to build your relationships, invest time, money, attention to building your relationships at a higher level. I promise you will get a much better deal. Let me give you case study number 2. One of our clients is a mid-sized mergers and acquisition company, and they are really well-known mergers and acquisition company. They are an established brand name for mergers and acquisition as a mergers and acquisition company. They're in the process of acquiring a household name that you will know about, in the process of acquiring that organization. And when they engage us, I said, give me some offers you already have. So they had an offer for, let's say, I'm just making this up, $400 million. The number's not 400, but it's up there. And it was the private equity that was giving the 400. Said, look, I'll give you the 400, but I need to do due diligence, and due diligence will take 9 months. The problem is that in the M&A industry, you don't have 9 months for some guy to do due diligence so that they can give you $400 million. That doesn't work. Another offer they have was somebody else saying, I'll give you the $400 million, but I'm going to give you in tranches, and I'm going to charge you interest rate on the money I'm giving you, and I'm going to get a 30% equity. They had nonsense offers because they're acquiring a company that already has cash flow, and that cash flow can serve the debt. The cash flow can serve the debt. I don't know how else to say about that. When we look at the reason I ask clients, give me your offers, that makes sure that the offer is legitimate. If nobody's giving an offer, I don't need to waste my time on the file. If nobody's giving an offer, I'm not wasting my time on that file. I want clients to come to the table with offers they have. That means the business plan is already, all the questions have been answered. They've got a clean business plan, stories, right? All that stuff is done, that now they're at the stage of getting offers. I can look at the offers, I can say, okay, what's my strategy to win? What's our strategy to win? If the client's getting equity, has to give equity or whatever else, well, I know the clout I have when I go buy CDs from the bank for, let's say, $500 million. I know the value of that. I know I'm calling the managing director of the bank. I'm not calling the branch manager for sure. And I'm saying, hey, look, I have a golden opportunity, and it's pure debt. I'm just looking for that. I cannot entertain something else. So by the time I go to my client, I say, look, you've got 3 junky offers. I have an offer for you that you keep 100% of your equity. You don't need 9 months or 10 months for due diligence or things like that. And it's pure debt, and it's one of the top banks. Well, why is it that I can do that and the client cannot? The reason the client cannot is because the client never invested 10 years ago, 5 years ago, anything else to build relationship at the executive level of investment banking division of their bank. The division, not retail, not capital markets, not the insurance division of your bank, not wholesale banking, investment banking division of the bank The client never invested that relationship, never picked up the phone, 1-800, whatever my bank is, let me talk to the head of investment banking. When you engage, whether it's me, our company, our competitors, you're looking for somebody who's spent a decade building those relationships, and obviously we charge a shitload of money. Obviously we should be charging a shitload of money right up front for that relationship that we've taken 10 years to invest in, so that we can bring a transaction that the client wants to close, and the bank wants to close quickly, instead of these dummy offers. My clients are getting offers from a bank for $5 million, $10 million. She's doing a raise for $46 million. Why are you giving her $5 million loan? Like, just doesn't make sense. Here's another guy, he needs $400 million, he needs it yesterday. When you're talking to a private equity firm and the guy says, I want to do due diligence before I give you $400 million, why? Because for that small firm or that mid-sized firm, $400 million is a lot of money. If it's your $400 million, if you're the lender and $400 million is all you have, obviously you come up with a term sheet that says do due diligence, do due diligence, do due diligence, because the $400 million to you is a lot. I'm not here to discredit that. I think that's a great industry. All I'm here to tell you is the big banks, if you're at the managing director level, they're doing $100 million, $500 million deals weekly. They are doing, look, this is not the no-name bank of Africa. Like, respectfully, it's not the no-name bank of Africa. If you go to any of the top tier banks, top 45 banks, at the managing executive level, I promise you, they're doing $400, $500 million transactions weekly. And, they're doing investments, they're doing structured financing, they're doing stuff that's like bold, big, and exciting. And my lesson learned, something that it took me a while to learn, is stop calling these branch managers. Stop talking to these joker brokers that are on Facebook or Google or wherever these people are. And there's a lot of these, I don't know where this other bunch of brokers come in, they all want some big fancy fees. You pay them the fee, hoping, praying they're going to perform, and then all of a sudden 6 months after, there's no performance. So you really have to cut that noise up. Now, I'm not here to tell you, look, we are a much better option, come and give us fees, and we're going to make you go raise you millions of dollars. I'm not here to tell you that. My message is simple. You pick up this invention called the telephone. I promise you it works. Whichever jurisdiction you are, I don't care if it's Africa, UK, United States, Canada, but call 1-800 whoever the bank is, but ask for a CEO. If you present a great story, if you hit the core values, like you've got collateral, you've got a good credit score, if you can demonstrate the resume, yes, I've done that, there's no reason why the bank would not want to do your deal. I'm promising you, the deals that my clients are getting in the mid-market, I can take the same deal to the managing director of the big banks, and I can get debt without equity. I can get far better rates, far structure, and that's just like, I have years of experience in doing that. I highly recommend taking my recommendation. At least try it out once. Just try it out once. I think you'll see a lot of value. Now, if you are working with a joker broker, and there's a lot of people working with joker brokers, I highly recommend encouraging your joker brokers to get into a training program at AFG. I love training joker brokers. I start the day with asking them to all take up their phone. Everybody has their phone, pick up your phone. I want to ask you to look up to what I call my version of Yellow Pages. I'm going to ask them to call bank CEOs. Start calling 1-800 bank CEO. Call. And I want you to leave these types of messages. Just call. And then you know what they say to me? Well, I'm scared about calling. Well, if you're scared about calling, why are you in my industry? Go in somebody else's industry and poo in somebody else's industry. Excuse my language. Call the 1-800 with all these banks. You could ask for managing director, executive vice president, and nobody does. And then here's your pitch like that. And then they say things like, oh, that's amazing, but I don't have a project. Then what? Well, guess what? If you got the bank, you understand clearly what is it they're looking to invest money in or loan money against, what's the criteria, and you don't have your client, guess what the second thing is? You're going to call 1-800 all your friends to go get yourself a qualified client and start making a living by creating value but you're giving the client something that they cannot get themselves because they didn't invest the time 10 years ago, 15 years ago to fly to New York, fly to Switzerland, all the places that you see if an FG has events. Yeah, we're having an event in Switzerland. Guess what we're doing in the nighttime? We're not going and drinking by ourselves. We're meeting with bankers in Switzerland, in Singapore, in London, in Germany, like all the places we go to. We invest a lot of time, millions and millions of dollars in building relationships that takes us a long time so we can build that trust so we can execute. I hope you found this valuable. If you did, I would, and you'd like to get more of this type of information or customer case study strategies, subscribe to our YouTube channel and share with people. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
It's a privilege just knowing you. I introduced you to a platform for you to put money into. You took a little bit of a risk, right? Because the money left your account. It went into this platform. Did you financially benefit from it?
Yes, I had a great benefit. I was very happy with it.
And then did you, without me knowing, put a lot more money in it after you did your trial test?
Yeah, I have actually put almost 10 times more than what I initially got. Yeah.
And then is it true that today you're in this call with me because you now want to participate in more what I call small cap trading platforms that you have, you trust me to advise you to get into?
Absolutely.
And then have you hired, based by my recommendation, a former FBI person who is part of our team to do background check to some of the programs you brought to the table?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I'm afraid of asking you what were the results of what results did you get from hiring my FBI guys to background check your platforms? You want to talk about it?
In fact, I have become so much risk averse now that I don't want to do anything without either it's being approved by this FBI guy or if it is something like SEC, FINRA, and all that stuff. So it's just
awesome. Hi friends, I now want to take a minute and answer some of your frequently asked questions. One of the common questions I get a lot is, Taimour, we've learned a lot from you through your YouTube channel. How do we learn more? Can we fly down and meet your team? And the answer to all of that is yes, yes, and yes. If you want to learn more, my first invitation is to become a member of Allfunds Global. You simply go to our website, allfundsglobal.com. You sign up to become a member for free. You get access to webinars, offshore events that we do, and content that we never, ever, ever, ever publish on YouTube. I promise you that it's worth becoming a member for sure. The second way that you can learn a lot is I'm a published author. Structured Financing, Demystified, Hypergrowth, just multiple books on Amazon that you can get access to. I highly recommend going and checking out some of these books, getting engaged into some of the stuff, that strategies and tactics that we're using for ourselves, for our families, for our friends. You definitely want to check these things out for sure. Another question, I guess, Taimour, why are you so passionate about getting a bank license? Why is that so important? Well, the truth is, our mission within Allfunds Global is to help businesses become self-funded for life. Imagine you run a coffee shop and I run a coffee shop. Imagine we buy the coffee beans from the same grower and my coffee shop is right across yours, like really right across yours. Our competition is probably nil. But if you have a bank license and I don't have a bank license, and let's say I made $500,000 and you made $500,000 in income, but if you have a bank license, you are depositing a bank license with a central bank of the country where you own your own private bank license. Let me repeat this again. You are depositing your money with the central bank of the country you have your bank license on. So $500,000 deposited with the central bank should give you a line of credit of 10 times multiples. So that means you get a line of credit of $5 million. Now it's not free money, it's a line of credit of $5 million. Now, If you draw that entire money out and you go to whichever country you're currently resonating in, the country you're doing business with, and you know in real estate, you want to buy a house, you put 20% down and you get a loan for 80%, same thing. You put $5 million down with a business plan to your local bank, whoever you bank with, and say, hey, I want to grow my business, my technology business, real estate business, pharmaceutical business, whatever business it is. I'm a venture capitalist. I'm putting $5 million down. Your bank gives you a loan at four times more, so now you get a $20 million loan. Now it's not free money, it's $20 million loan. What can you afford to do with $20 million that I cannot afford to do with $500,000? Could you invest in artificial intelligence? Could you invest in hiring better people? Could you invest in advertising? Hell, with that amount of money, could you even buy auxiliary businesses or invest in auxiliary businesses? I say you can, and that's why we within All Funds Global are so passionate in helping clients become self-funded for life, and getting a private bank license is one of the vehicles that I am personally very passionate about helping clients on. Another question, I guess, Taimour, you charge a consultation fee. All Funds Global, the team charges a consultation fee. Why do you charge a consultation fee when you guys can make so much money on the back end? It somehow slows me down from taking a credit card and paying you money for it. Well, here's the truth. We offer our content, millions and millions of dollars worth of content completely for free on YouTube. We don't advertise as of the date of doing this video. We don't advertise on YouTube, Google, or we don't do any kind of advertising at all. And what we find is the volume of traffic that goes into YouTube attracts people that are tire kickers, people that are fraudsters, people that have mental health issues. When we charge a small consultation fee, this deters the hacker, the fraudster, the person who's shopping around, the tire kicker. It eliminates all that and allows me and my team to be on calls or meetings with customers we actually want to do business with. What a concept. Now comes, this is better. At the time of doing a transaction with a client, that fee they pay for a consultation call, we refund it. At the conclusion of us doing a transaction with a client, we refund 100% of all the monies that they paid on consultation fees. This allows us to work with people that are committed to working with us, are serious about working with us, are not tire kickers, are not people that are like, they don't know what banking 101 is, and they're there to waste our time and energy. Just eliminates that. And me and my team are very proud of doing that. Next question, I guess, Taimour, the alternative funding industry overall has a lot of fraudsters in it, has a lot of deep fake in it. What are you doing to protect us, protect yourself? So here's the answer to that. Any industry that has a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. Let me say this again. Any industry that attracts a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. I don't know who you bank with. If you bank with one of the top 20 banks in the world, pick a bank you bank with, or you use payment processing companies like PayPal, these companies see a lot of fraud every day, from fraudsters mimicking their website to mimicking their email addresses, and in cases like mine, once a year or twice a year, some idiot, excuse my language, decides to copy my picture on social media, tries to create a fake profile of me, and goes on social media selling scammy transactions. Now, we have the technology and the resources to catch that, usually within 72 hours of that happening, and then cause legal action against that fraudster. We have the financial resources, thank God, to do that today, but that's just the nature of this industry. So what we do to protect ourselves is we never solicit on social media anything, nor do we solicit in general. We offer a lot of educational materials, but we don't solicit. You'll never see me or any of my associates on any social media trying to sell anything, ever. Second, all transactions that we do, money always has to go through a reputable law firm. All transactions we do, money always has to go to a reputable law firm. We never ask the client to send us money or anything like that. Now, I do want to take a minute and talk a little bit about my competitors. In the United States, in the US alone, US has 3% of the world's population, and they have over 60% of the world's lawyers. In the United States, that's a fact, have 3% of the world's population and over 60% of the world's lawyers. I have a lot of legitimate competitors in the United States and around the world that unfortunately have been sued for wrongful things that other people have done. There's a lot of negative stuff on social media or websites about some of my legitimate competitors. And I want to tell you that a lot of my competitors are legitimate. They're hardworking people. I know them. They deliver real results. And unfortunately, they have negative comments or fraud or even losses against them. The reason within All Funds Global doesn't have a lawsuit against it, or me, Taimour Zaman, don't have a lawsuit against me, or people on social media saying that we're fraudsters or something like that, is simply because of my lack of vision. Every company you deal with, every major company you deal with, whether it's the cars you drive, Ford, Lexus, I don't know, GM, or Facebook, Google, YouTube, whatever you use, or medicine you have, like Taimour, all of these companies have lawsuits against them. A lot of the companies you work with have litigations against them as just part of the growth. At some point, the business needs to grow exponentially, and that's when you have to see lawsuits as just the nature of the business growing. The fact that we don't have it is because of my lack of vision as the CEO and like trying to bark a tree like that. Now, I see that changing as we buy businesses that have other CEOs, as we grow. We have over 800 registered brokers with us. As that number grows, it's not normal for our business to continue growing without some idiot calling us fraudster, some idiot trying to sue us, or something like that. If you want to take advantage of the alternative funding industry, I'm going to tell you this is the industry I love. I'm going to tell you this is the industry that I've made a lot of money with. I'm going to tell you this is the industry I've helped a lot of clients make a lot of money with, friends and family make a lot of money with. And if this is an industry you want to get involved in, I recommend meeting the people you want to do business with, like physically flying out to meeting them. If you can afford to hire an investigator, we use a lot of former FBI, former CIA people. These are people you can hire to do background checks. It's not only do these people have lawsuits or not, or other losers calling them fraudsters or not. I'm telling you, a lot of my competitors are really good people, and they're not fraudsters. So do your own due diligence, listen to your intuition. We're really interested in working with some really good people that are vision-driven entrepreneurs that really want to serve the world, and I think we have some things that are really amazing to offer. Another question I get is, Taimour, we love all the services of Funds Global. What are the top 3 services you offer that we should really seriously think about, call you or your organization and get you guys involved? But my favorite service, the one that makes a lot of sense, is the trusted advisory service. This is when we become your chief banking officer. We work with your CFO, your legal team, the CEO, the COO. We look at where your organization is, where you want it to be. We look at banking programs that make sense for your type of business, that are proven and would work to generate access to alternative revenue sources for your business that makes sense. From that, we then create offshore tax structures, offshore bank accounts, offshore bank licenses for your organization, so the revenue that gets generated has a channel to go to that is well protected. We have a lot of domain expertise that I do not share ever on YouTube. It's not like a lawyer who's like, go create a trust account and cooks at it. We don't do. We do some very sophisticated stuff that I'm very proud of. That's our intellectual property. And so the trusted advisory services, where we become a trusted advisor, is one of the things that I would recommend everybody to look at. It's a monthly retainer, you pay for it, but let me tell you, for every penny you put in to that, you get tens of dollars out of it. And I think you're not going to get this amount of expertise dedicated to your business. So that's something I would recommend you to think about and sign up for. Second one is, if you're looking for access to capital, we have a lot of unique programs like Rent a Rich Uncle that we can support your organization as long as your organization is a successful business and not a startup, not somebody who's going bankrupt. It's a successful business that has real cash, real assets, and is generating something real, that's real growth. I think we have some avenues for accessing capital that others simply cannot offer. And the final one that I love is we have a lot of asset management structures that are very unique to our intellectual property that I'd love to share with you. If you have assets, you want to grow, you want to get bank license, you want to set up a trust, you want to work with multiple central banks, do some really cool stuff. I think I'm the only weirdest person that has real expertise and experience in doing this stuff. And so my name is Taimour. I'm from Alphonse Global. Thank you for following us up on YouTube. If you're doing that, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting my team. And on behalf of my team, I just really want to say thank you. And we look forward to the opportunity of serving you.